Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Lloyd and here we do everything bikes, travel and adventure. In a little over a month, I head to Japan. I'm doing the 88 temples of Shikoku. I'm doing a pilgrimage, not by foot, but I'm doing it by bike. I'll be bike packing 1,400 to 1,600 kilometers. I've got 20 days. I'll be self-filming through this time, and this video is all about my bike and my bike setup. The next video will be about what I'm taking to film. So thank you for joining me. Let's get into the video.
What is the 88 Temples of Shikoku pilgrimage? For over 1,200 years, pilgrims have traveled across Shikoku visiting 88 sacred temples in search of enlightenment, healing, and personal growth. This journey, known as the Shikoku Henroad, traditionally covers 1,200 kilometers, but my adventure will take me even further, cycling 1,400 to 1,600 kilometers, bikepacking through mountains, coastal roads, and ancient temple paths. I'm Lloyd, and instead of walking this pilgrimage as countless others have, I'll be bikepacking the entire route, carrying my own gear, camping along the way, and documenting the history, rituals, and significance of this legendary path. The pilgrimage is dedicated to Kukai Kobodashi, the founder of Shingon Buddhism, whose teachings and spirit are said to guide every pilgrim on their journey. Along the way, I'll explore the history and the meaning behind each temple and the pilgrimage itself, the rituals and traditions from the collecting temple stamps to the symbolism of the white pilgrim clothing, the challenges of bikepacking this sacred route from steep mountain climbs to remote camping spots. To take on this demanding ride, I've carefully set up my bike for long distance endurance and self-sufficiency. My setup includes a durable touring bike built for rough roads, steep climbs, and long days in the saddle, bikepacking bags to carry my camping gear, food and filming equipment, a lightweight tent and sleeping system allowing me to camp in forests near temples or along quiet coastal roads, cameras and self-filming gear to capture the journey from every angle and sharing the highs and lows and everything in between. For me, this is more than just a cycling challenge. It's a modern pilgrimage, a journey into history and an adventure into the unknown. Join me as I bikepack the 88 temples of Shikoku, experience Japan's rich spiritual heritage, and push myself across 1,600 kilometers of one of the world's most incredible pilgrimage routes.
G'day guys and welcome to the video, and thank you for clicking. So in a little over a month, I am heading to Japan, and so this is my bike and its setup. The bike is a 2019 BMC road machine. Initially this bike was black. I custom painted it myself. I ended up cracking the fork, and in that time I'm just like, well, I may as well just get everything off it and custom paint it. Sanded it back, love the color. It's different, and it's just something that I've always wanted to do. I was going to buy a new bike. I thought, why not just repurpose and have a different bike? So, and yeah, I ended up sanding it back and just doing it all myself. So this is my BMC road machine. It's a size 54. Let's start at the front of the bike. I'm running a Sun Dynamo hub. This is pretty much the heart of the whole bike. This thing will charge batteries. It actually runs by rear lights, my rear dynamo lights. It all runs up through the cable into a junction here. One of the ends goes up to the lights, which keeps it running full time. I don't have to worry about lights. It just does its thing. The other side of that charger will charge batteries, which will need to charge other devices. So from the hub, the cable comes up the back, but with the cable running up the back of the fork, this is not internal, it's all external. I've got white car wrap, vinyl wrap, just holding it tight to the back of the fork, out of the way, it doesn't get tangled. It's neat and it's aerodynamic, sort of. Anyway, so the wheel, the hub itself is laced onto an Ultegra C60 wheel. This is what I had lying around. So this is not something I've just thought up. I'll go, oh yeah, for Japan, I'm just gonna build this fast bike. It's nothing like that. I've done a couple of ultra endurance races, and obviously I did one at the start of last year where it's across Australia, where you needed to be a little bit more self-sufficient than others. So I got a dynamo hub set up, and this is the wheel setup that I had lying around. So I'm going to use it. It works out well because I will be filming my experience, this journey through this pilgrimage, and it works out absolutely perfectly for me having this. So from the rim, I'm running 32mm GP 5000s, right, set up tubeless, puncture protection. I've got dynamo plugs that I'll be carrying. I've got backup tubes just in case. But for bike packing and being, you know, quick and easy, if something happens, they normally tend to plug themselves unless the cut is severe. But this is my ideal setup. It's the first time I'm running 32s. Normally I'd run 30s on the road, or my other adventures I've done 30s, but for this one, I'm just running 32mm tires, bit of comfort. I'll be able to run the pressures front and back, like 50 PSI at the back, 40 at the front, less weight here, less pressure. But that's what I'm sort of going with. The bike is semi-packed, like there's a few little bits and bobs that is not on the bike in terms of like the weight. There's a few things that I'm still missing, but this is pretty much the setup as is. The weight is probably about, I reckon, between 10 and 15 kilo, I think. So from the tires, we go to the front bag. The front bag is a Topeak 5-litre bag. It's not, maybe a 4-litre. It's not waterproof, it is water resistant, but the front roll bag is where I'll be having all of my electronics. All the electronics will be in a dry bag. The dry bag will, obviously, if it rains, that'll keep them all safe. From the roll bag, I'll say the handlebars. The handlebars are 400mm handlebar, 100mm stem, wrapped with 3.2mm lizard skin bar tape for comfort. I'm running 11-speed Di2, got the shifters here. I'm running a Hammerhead Karoo computer for mapping. For mapping and bicycle computers, you can't beat the Karoo, I don't think. For me, Garmin's are a bit spotty. They don't really connect that well. They're a bit flaky, so I've steered away from them. For my phone, and up front, I've got a quad lock mount. I normally wouldn't run a phone on handlebars, but for the purpose of wanting to film and having a drone, as you saw with the intro, you saw that I did that with the drone and having to position being able to focus your shot and do all that sort of stuff with the drone, and being able to record sound with your phone being connected. So the phone is up front for filming purposes and for navigation and researching. Top tube bag, this is where I'll house my drone when it's not wet or whatnot. But in this top tube bag, it is Apogee, it's a long top tube bag. This is where I'll keep snacks and whatnot, but also in here is obviously, as I said, will be your battery, spare battery that needs to be charged. But this is great. I've had it for a couple of years now. Served me well. Here, the frame bag. The frame bag is Altura. I picked it up when I was living in the UK. In here will be arm warmers, leg warmers, a gilet, lightweight jacket, but the front half of this bag is actually a 2-litre water bladder. Now, I'm going with a water bladder because, well, I've always gone with water bladders over bottles, because bottles, if they get dirty, you probably can get sick from them. So I've just eliminated the whole bottle thing altogether, running a 2-litre water bladder. And with having the clothing that I need probably in a pinch in this bag, it allows me to keep that water bladder forward and stopping it from falling back into the bag. And also the most important thing is my pilgrim book. I can't remember the Japanese word for it, but in there it has stamps of each temple you go to. It will have the calligraphy of that temple, and it's documentation for your pilgrimage. A keepsake. It's going to be amazing. And obviously that book is flat. It's going to be fairly thick because it's going to have 88 pages or whatnot, and it needs to be waterproof because I dare say that the calligraphy will be water-based. It's of some point, of some degree. So that'll go in there, being the flattest surface. Pedals, gone with SPDs. I've got gravel shoes, Specialized Recons. SPDs, I'll be doing a lot of walking around. With this whole pilgrimage, I'm wanting to have the best experience with it. I'll be documenting it, but also there's a lot of sort of the routine of the pilgrim is you'd rock up to your temple. This I'll get to it as well. Like I'll keep evolving this over time. But you'd get to your temple, you'd bow at the main gate, then you'd go ring you'd ring the bell because you're saying that you're present, that you're here. And then you'll light your incense, and then you'll go to the main temple, and you'll do like a bit of a prayer there as well. So there's a whole lot that sort of goes into it. But yeah, I'm wanting to film all that, and I want to have the best experience. Hence, going back to the SPDs, you'll be walking around a lot, and you might be off the bike in 15 to 20 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how you sort of take this. But for context, the first 10 temples are within 20k of each other, so I'll be on off for at least the first day. So that is that. The crank, I'm running a 5236 Ultegra crank with 5236 absolute black chain rings, an 1134 cassette with an Ultegra long cage rear derailleur. Same thing. I've got a Hunt 60mm rim, 32mm tyre. Just had this wheel recently laced because it started to go a bit wobbly on me. A bit wobbly on me over the last month or so. So it was due after about 5 years. I've got the tail fin. The tail fin has been with me since 2019. It's been on many adventures, and I absolutely love the thing. I've done a few quirky things to this thing over the years. I've just recently changed the straps. That's probably probably the best thing's going to save time and whatnot, because I've found that they started to loosen up. And apart from the straps, the bike has been amazing. Waterproof, never leaks. As I mentioned earlier, I've got at the back, I've got the blinky lights that run off the dynamo, so don't need to worry about them. They just sort themselves out. Underneath is where I keep my pump, but it also adds as extra support for the tail fin. The tail fin is oval in shape while it's cage, and the pump will sit up underneath. It stops the bottom from sagging, and that's just great. And it's a good way to have a pump in and out of the way, but it's there. You don't want to be messing around with a little hand pump when you are in the middle of nowhere. You'd rather just have a proper little track floor pump. I've got my Garmin Vari at the back. That is my one to do it all. I love that thing. It lets me know when traffic is coming. I'll run it off, being the flashing mode, but I'll run the sensor on. It's probably got in that formation with the light off and the sensor working, you've probably got about 15 hours, 10, 12, 15 hours, depending on, and that'll just keep alerting me. It sends notifications to my head unit and just lets me know. The saddle is 153 or 154, 155, something like that. I'm not quite sure. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years. It just works. It just works for me, and that's why I've always gone with the Pro Stealth. But this is my bike. If you've got anything else if you want to know more about my bike and what I've sort of, in greater detail about what I'm sort of taking and why I've sort of packed it this way, then just let me know. But I'll end with saying that this is not the most perfect setup. The bike itself is what I had lying around. My research into Japan and it being semi-remote works out well with the stuff that I had lying around my house. The dynamo hub to charge, camera gear, I'd say the 60mm deep rims are probably unnecessary, but it's what I had lying around. But I can still, within this frame, get big tires on. So I got 32mm tires, and that's going to be absolutely perfect. I just run them at really low pressure. It's not a race. Bags are there to hold stuff. And I've also, before I forget, I'm carrying like a waist pack. This is something different I'm trialing, because people that have done bike packing or have done it, or bicycle touring to some degree, you'd stuff your passport in, you stuff your money in, you put everything here and there, and before you get out of the convenience store, you will grab everything out, carry it in, or stuff it in your pockets. I like to not have stuff in your pockets, but having something on you like this is lightweight. Yes, it looks like it. Yes, it's sitting on me, but when I'm on the bike, loosen up these hip straps, I actually don't feel it. It's not actually sitting on me. It bears its weight on the back of the saddle, and it is just ideal. Like I've been running, probably a couple of weeks ago, when I purchased this thing, and I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be like. Is it going to be hard climbing? But it's great. I'll run into more detail about this pack, and then obviously just the valuables you would keep in it. But that's my bike. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've got any questions on this, or you want to know more, hit me up. And stay tuned. The next video will be on what's actually in the bags and how I'm going to go about filming this amazing pilgrimage. I'm just going to have so much fun. So thanks guys. I'll see you in the next one.